The courtroom was packed with spectators and reporters eager for details about one of the most harrowing cases the town had ever seen. Tiffanie Lucas, a 32-year-old mother from a quiet suburban neighborhood, was back in court, accused of the unthinkable, murdering her 2 young children. The tragedy that had unfolded in their modest home left the community in shock and disbelief. It was a cold January morning when police received a frantic 911 call from Tiffanie herself, claiming her children, 6-year-old Emma and 4-year-old Liam, were unresponsive. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but it was too late. The children were pronounced dead at the scene. Initial reports suggested accidental carbon monoxide poisoning, but the truth that emerged was far more sinister. The investigation revealed chilling evidence. The toxicology reports indicated that the children had ingested a lethal dose of sleeping pills, and further examination showed signs of suffocation. Tiffanie, who initially appeared distraught and inconsolable, quickly became the primary suspect. Neighbors described Tiffanie as a devoted mother, often seen playing with her kids in the yard or taking them to the park. She was a regular at school events and church activities, presenting an image of a loving and attentive parent. However, as the investigation deepened, a different picture began to emerge. Friends and family testified that Tiffanie had been struggling with severe depression and financial troubles following her recent divorce. Her ex-husband, Michael Lucas, painted a grim portrait of their last months together, describing Tiffanie's erratic behavior and increasing isolation. Court documents revealed a history of domestic disputes and custody battles, suggesting that Tiffanie was overwhelmed by the pressures of single motherhood. On the morning of the incident, surveillance footage showed Tiffanie purchasing a large quantity of over-the-counter sleeping pills. The prosecution argued that this was a premeditated act, driven by desperation and a misguided belief that she was sparing her children from a life of hardship. They presented text messages and journal entries where Tiffanie expressed feelings of hopelessness and fear for her children's future. The defense, however, painted a different story. They argued that Tiffanie's actions were the result of a temporary psychotic break, exacerbated by her untreated mental health issues and the stress of her recent life changes. They presented expert witnesses who testified about her mental state and the possibility of postpartum psychosis, a condition that can severely impair judgment and reality. As the trial progressed, the emotional testimonies from friends, family, and experts created a complex narrative that left the jury with a daunting task. Was Tiffanie a cold-blooded killer, or a deeply troubled mother pushed to her breaking point? The answer was not clear-cut, and the courtroom buzzed with tension as both sides made their final arguments. In a surprising twist, Tiffanie herself took the stand. Through tears, she recounted her struggles with depression and the overwhelming sense of failure she felt as a mother. She denied any intention to harm her children, insisting that she believed the pills would simply make them sleep through a difficult night. The jury's deliberation was long and arduous, reflecting the gravity of the case. When they finally returned, the room fell silent, every eye on the foreperson as the verdict was read. Tiffanie Lucas was found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, a charge that acknowledged her responsibility for the deaths of Emma and Liam, but also recognized her impaired mental state at the time. The judge sentenced her to 20 years in prison, with the possibility of parole after 10 years, coupled with mandatory psychiatric treatment. The trial's conclusion brought little solace to the grieving community, but it did highlight the critical need for mental health awareness and support. As Tiffanie was led away in handcuffs, the echoes of her children's laughter seemed to haunt the courtroom, a tragic reminder of lives cut far too short.